Well, Representative Labriola, I know you've heard that argument that the death penalty is unworkable, so why don't we just do away with it and go to life imprisonment without possibility of parole? I know you disagree on that. Why?
Well, to answer your question specifically, I think that the problem that most people have with the death penalty is that the people who are on death row are there for decades, and that there's no reasonable expectation that, in fact, the execution will be carried out. What we need to do is talk about streamlining the appeals process like they do in other states. Other states have a workable death penalty. We, of course, could do the same here in Connecticut.
You introduced an amendment to make that happen, correct?
I did.
How do you do that? How do you reduce the time for appeals and still remain on good constitutional ground?
Well, as I say, many states have constitutionally sound appeals processes which are streamlined in comparisons to Connecticut. There really is no expectation that the victims' families can count on that these people who committed these heinous crimes are ever going to be actually executed. And I just believe that there are some crimes that are so heinous, so awful, so terrible, that the only just penalty, as a state representative, in going around, the average person comes up to me a lot and says that they not only support the death penalty, but we need to streamline the appeals process. They shouldn't be just sitting there on death row for decade and upon decade. That's what the average person feels. There's a strong majority in Connecticut of the people who support the death penalty. And then, of course, we had that horrible tragedy in Cheshire. And really, it's a slap in the face to the families of the victims of these people who are sitting on death row, these criminals who committed these horrific acts, for us to be debating whether we should get rid of the death penalty. It's really not. One of the reasons why we were upset that we even had this debate is that we're in the middle of a fiscal crisis here in Connecticut. We only have 2.5 weeks to go in this session, and this is really an exercise in futility because the governor has made it clear that she will veto this bill. She has stated and restated recently that she is a supporter of the death penalty, that she believes some crimes are so heinous that the only just result is the death penalty.
However, have a right to debate something just because the governor is opposed to it. Maybe there are other reasons to have the debate, philosophical or whatever, push her in the right direction. She, after all, is the one, whenever we ask her about vetoes, always says, well, I'll wait till I see the bill or I'll wait till I hear the debate. Who knows? Maybe her mind could be changed.
Because we're in the middle of this record fiscal crisis. People are hurting out there. We need to be addressing that issue. But as for public opinion, I think you'll find that if we were to streamline the appeals process, that support of the death penalty would go dramatically up. And wait till these trials begin of the horrible case in Cheshire. Wait till you see what the public feels about whether or not we should have a death penalty or whether we should get rid of the death penalty whenever those trials happen. The death penalty in Connecticut, it's very hard to obtain a conviction. We have tremendous constitutional safeguards. We have some of the best public defenders in the capital unit here in Connecticut, best in the country, in the world. So there's no question that all the constitutional rights to a defendant, they're there. And so no one's talking about abridging anybody's rights. We're talking about streamlining the appeals process so that there is some reasonable expectation that the execution will be carried out.